What's up, everybody? The 78 Gemini here. Hope you guys are having a terrific day. I got a new series that I would like to start. I call it Forza Motorsport 4 Breaking Points. My goal with this series is to teach newcomers, circuit racers thinking about learning, or racers needing help with track breaking points. In other words, people who are trying to race without any assists. For this episode, we are going to go around Road America. I will start with a flying lap and will pause myself right before each breaking point to show you that breaking point and also give you some advice for that coming turn. After we cover all the breaking points, I will run one full lap without any interruptions. For this series, I will be using the 2002 Nissan Skyline GT-R V-Spec 2 with a S-Class build, which I will be providing you guys with, and also the same tune I will be running with. So let's get started with a quick build. Alright, we're going to start off with the engine with a race air filter, stock fuel system, race ignition, race exhaust, stock cams, stock valves, stock displacement, sport pistons, sport twin turbochargers, race intercooler, race oil and cooling, and a race flywheel. Race brakes, race springs and dampers, front and rear anti-roll bars, a race roll cage, and a race weight reduction. Over to the drivetrain with a race clutch, a sport transmission, a race driveline, and a race differential. Over to the tires and rims with race tire compound, the first front tire width, and maxing out the rear tire width. Five Ziggin rims with the GN Plus rims. Arrow and appearance, we're going to go with the top secret front bumper. Rear wing, we're going to leave that stock. Rear bumper, we're going to take the June and the June side skirts. And we're going to do a swap on the drivetrain to rear wheel drive. And that's it for the build. Here comes the tune. Front tire pressure 26.0 and 27.0 for the rear. Final drive gear ratio at 3.69. Front camber negative 0.8 for the front and negative 0.6 for the rear. Front toe 0.0 and the rear at negative 0.4 with a front caster angle of 5.3. Front anti-roll bars 28.00 and 30.50 for the rear. Front springs 536, rear springs 567. Front height 6.8 and 6.9 for the rear. Front rebound stiffness 9.6 for the front, rear at 9.0. Front bump 1.0 and 1.6 for the rear. We don't have any arrow adjustments since we don't have any adjustable wings. This is how I set up my brakes, but everybody's different. So differential, acceleration at 28% and deceleration at 20%. And that's it, guys. That's our build and tune. Let's hit the track. Okay, here's braking point number 1, right before turn 1. It's indicated with a number 4, meaning that you're 400 feet before the turn. You're going to want to brake before the number 4. Try not to brake after it because it will bring you trouble. Stay all the way to the left until you hit about 200 feet and slightly start turning in. You're going to want to downshift, maybe 2 gears. As you can see, I'm in 5th gear. I will be downshifting to 3rd gear, hitting 200 feet and slightly turning in. Try using the rumble strip. They're there for a reason. And if you start going wide, just lift off the gas. Don't bother hitting the brakes or anything. Just lift off the gas and just ease your way through. Braking point number 2 at turn 3. As you can clearly see, it's marked by a number 2 standing for 200 feet. Try to brake right before the number 2 or half a car's length after it. You're going to need to drop down a gear. As you can see, I'm in 4th gear. I will be dropping down to 3rd and start turning in right after the 100 mark. Once again, use the rumble strip. Like I always say and hear other people saying, if you're not using the rumble strips, you're not racing. Braking point number 3. At turn 5. The arrow is pointing at the 500-foot marker. You should start braking probably 20 to 30 feet before the 500-foot marker. I tend to brake a little earlier for this turn due to the high speeds and the declined surface of the track. That's always a factor to your braking. As you can see, I'm in 5th gear. I will be downshifting to 2nd gear. But remember, always brake before you downshift. Right after the 100-foot marker, You really want to bite the inside of this turn. You will notice there's extra pavement on the outside of the inside rumble strip. Take advantage of that situation. Just be cautious on your way out due to being in second gear. Here's our fourth braking point. This is probably the hardest turn on this course. First, as you might notice, there is no braking indicator for this turn. And second, as you can see, this is a blind turn, meaning you don't see the turn until you get right on top of it. So pretty much you're going to have to use your judgment for this one. What I do, more or less, where I am paused now, I start applying brake pressure, downshifting to second right before I enter the underpath, and as soon as I exit the underpath, I start turning without even seeing the turn itself. Once again, you're going to want to hug the inside of this corner. You might end up getting two wheels on the grass, but it's okay. This is racing, not tennis. Just try to be smooth on your corner exit. We are now approaching turn 7 of Road America with a given name of Hurries Down. For this turn, you pretty much don't have to brake. There's no braking indicator for this turn either, so you're going to have to judge this one also. What I do, I aim for the rumble strip. That's going to be your best indicator for this turn. I normally upshift to 4th to bring my car into a neutral state. Once on the inside rumble strip, aim towards the outside for a smooth apex. Here's our 5th braking point, turn 8 of Road America, right before the famous carousel turn. The arrow is pointing at the 300-foot mark. You should brake right after the 300-foot mark, downshifting to second gear, and start turning in after the 100-foot mark. I broke a little early for this corner because I am only on my second lap with cold tires. So when you're racing with simulation, don't forget about your tires. You cannot push your car as hard. Here's turns 9 and 10. Make up the carousel. A long sweeper to the right. Enter this turn at a steady throttle. Maintain a position about mid-track. About mid-position on the turn, slowly add throttle and begin to drift towards the inside of the turn, aiming for the late apex of turn 10. Turn 11, called the kink. The infamous turn considered by many to be the most dangerous part of the track. It's sharper than it looks and has only a thin strip of grass on each side for runoff. Give this turn lots of respect. Start by braking, then work up to just lifting off the throttle to become familiar with it. Practice makes perfect. The way I take this corner is right about where I'm paused now. I lift off my throttle, and about at the 100-foot marker, I start turning in, aiming for the inside rumble strip. It's okay if you get two wheels on the grass. Just try to get a smooth exit on your way out. Braking point number 6 at turn 12. This turn is called Canada Corner. The arrow is pointing at the 500-foot marker. I recommend braking right before the 500-foot marker, or even half a car length after. I suggest a late apex for this turn in order to carry speed up the hill. Run your exit out wide into 13. You'll need to downshift to 3rd for this turn. Turn 13A, somewhat of a blind turn. This is a pretty easy turn to take. You won't need to brake at all. Just maybe lifting off your throttle a bit. You can use the rumble strip on the right as an indicator to start turning in. I usually start turning in right at the end of the rumble strip. Just keep it in 4th gear with a steady throttle through the turn. Braking point number 7 at the final turn, number 14. Try to get a smooth exit out of 13A for easy braking on 14, where this last turn is probably one of the most important turns to maximize your speed down the straight. I usually start braking somewhere around the 300-foot marker or just past it, and downshifting only 1 gear, and start turning in right before the 100-foot marker. Alright guys, and that does it. That's all the braking points for this road course, Road America. Now I'm just going to do a quick lap without any interruptions. Alright, well that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys find some interest in this series. It's pretty much up to you guys. If I get enough positive feedback or interest, I'll do another track. So if you guys want to see another episode, just leave me a comment on what track. I'm going to be using the same car for every episode to get accurate readings. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.